Hello and welcome. Time for a midday update on some markets. My name is Derek. This is a Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like. That's within each's own risk and their own reward. Bitcoin prices having a inside posish kind of day. At least it is so with 5 hours to play in the day. Trying to say that like it's a sporting event. But it's a game. Sporting events are a game, and to me, these are all part. It's a game for me. So, because I'm the one doing the video and I'm the one calling it a game and playing the game, it's all about the game and how you play it. Let's take a look at this further. One thing was mentioning earlier were these lower highs. I guess matching highs in here as well. Well, this one here, maybe it's matching, and it's definitely lower than this one. But the last couple hours showing some interesting things, as it had an opportunity in breaking down below the 18 average in here. It managed a couple lower lows, but other than that, that's all that was for that. We resisted the 18, last leg lower. We resisted the 18, higher load it. Then got up to the 18 highs, broke well up past that. Doing so on the 1700 hour timestamp yesterday. Supporting it at the highs, then supporting the lows, thus supporting where we came from. We can see it did so again at the 8 a.m. timestamp after leaving. A breakout attempt here occurred at 5 a.m., didn't do it. But it successfully was able to hold on when the sellers came in thereafter. We resisted the highs at 9 o'clock this morning with a little bit of pullback, but it's gotten above it. Right now it's 1500 hours, or 3 p.m. Eastern Time, as it has managed to just break out above here. But what we've seen is on the most previous hour that surpassed, for it to hold, pause above it, create a new high. This one, of course, just 1 minute into the session on the 15-minute term time frame. This high in here. This is what I mean, I normally won't show much on the 15, but the reason why I'm doing so in here is because ever since it got up to it at the top of the previous hour, it is just congested and stayed within this area. So it's a slow pause day, but the sellers aren't bringing this down. We've had price action now at this highest end it's seen in a significant period of time here at 8,000. We went through a long period at, and I'm talking like from September, October last year of, oh, okay, 6,000 something. Oh, are we going to go to three? Oh, here we are. It's November last year. We're going to three. And then spending a significant amount of periods at 3,000 and something. For with the very few times where it was barely over 4,000, from November the 21st through the 1st of April. So for the first 3 months of this year, the entire last month of last year, 4 months and change, price action was at this low level. People had lots of time to go through those prices. Then it got a bit better. Got up to the 4,000, 5,000 area, but there wasn't supposed to be much resistance here, and there was more than I thought there would have been. And now over to this, and a lot less. There was like no resistance here, and well, a lot less than I guess I thought there would have been here. And so people have had the opportunity to get to these levels, and there have been people that have sold off, but not enough to weigh out what has been going in within this volume and this buying pressure that has entered into the market. So to me, when I see it from has I seen it before, pretty much expecting it as I was on May 14th over the last several days. It looks as if this level is not resistance. It had its pretty much support test there, but it had such a large pierce move above it that I'm expecting that next level to come into play at the 10,000 mark. It's pretty much like ever since it left here, decent green, large green again. I was expecting and still am expecting there's a good chance that we continue while it's now accelerated well above the 18 to do just that, continue to accelerate. Now, as I did mention this before, there could be a pause period. That wouldn't be too much of a surprise. But we still have the rest of the day. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that of Sunday until this week is in completion mode. Bitcoin Cash against the dollar. Don't have as much data to show as far as, well, going back periods because of just this is what I got. But on the daily term time frame, it had this level of resistance, of course, before about 300, one third of 1,000, and it got above that on May the 11th. It had a nice series of these days grinding its way higher up to its May 16th high, then later coming back to where it came from, leaving the 18 average on the 19th of May or 2 days ago. That would be on Sunday. Yesterday, it had a nice little day where it just held and stayed above that area. It came back down, sort of a pause day, but even more productive and such because it had a little bit of intraday correctionary move. And today's session has barely pierced above the previous high, has a higher low from yesterday's session. So, when looking at such amongst the 4 hour, the last rally that it had in here, 5, 6 green candles up, and showing a lot of strength within this correctionary field. And what's this? What's up with this period here? Let's take a look at it. It goes up back into the band and looks like it's leaving now. So is that selling all done with? Are we ready to get back and going? And well, what happened in here? 1 hour time frame. What happened? Well, this was a fast move. I mean, somebody went in there, bought the market really, really big, and then it's just continued to grind its way higher to what has now been previous levels that it saw for a very quick period of time. On the 5 minute, we can see more of it. And in fact, I want to just see what this looks like on the 1. And I hate when that happens because I'm trying to just scroll over this, but I got to push a button to delete my drawing tool off. It's 9 in the morning. It happened on the Eastern Front of the United States and Canada. And there you have it. So it goes, let's just see how it looked like at this point in here. So we're seeing everything's just normal before a major event. There's your volume and volatility. I want a few more candles to see it a bit better. Okay, breaking it like you normally would on any setup. Decent sized volume come in and it just took off. Beautiful gains, but it's not quite 9 o'clock yet. It hasn't taken off yet, has it? Nope, there it is right there. Big volume. So this matched the previous. And now how fast are you? See, it was 417 here. Now it's like 426. That's like 2% in 1 minute. And overall, just a magnificent move. So now in viewing such on the cross against Bitcoin, this is a very, very, very interesting situation in here. As it's most certainly showing strength at the 18 average of highs, but this day today, because it's going to have that same sort of up and down move in here, that it's now finding support in this area, holding in. I like how this curve of the lows, it's just a very productive pre-flop situation. I know pre-flop's like a poker term, but pre-move, like this looks like, okay, I got pocket queens and I like my situation type of feeling kind of deal. Now let's go to the flop. It's either good or it's bad. Now let's go to the next few days. It's either good or it's bad. Just a way of thinking of it that way. After all, a lot of it to me is just nice. And after this move of going up, what have we seen since the down move back down? Well, it went down pretty close to the 18 average of lows. It went well below into the area of the deeper part for where it came from. The first part was here at the 53 level where it's trying to break resistance now. That's the first part. Then you have this line and it pierces a little bit below. And really, this line is by no means a amazing, okay, that's the big line because you can see here, okay, it's a bit below this, pretty much there, a bit above that, well below, this is well below, that's a pierce above, that's a pierce below. It's just this whole general area is really, really big for it, and that's where it's hanging in there right now. Just a beautiful, beautiful overall setup, and as we can see on the 15-minute time frame, I even just like how it's even just over these last 3 periods, as weird and as drunk as it may look. Maybe it's punch drunk love, I don't know, but it's supporting it to me. So I really do like the prospects of this as we move forward, and moving forward is really defined as however long it takes, but over the next hour, day, 2 days period, should be pretty good. And I've had this happen a few times. This I don't know. This might be the sixth, seventh time this has happened to me, where I get into a market across, and then literally like shortly after I entered, I get my first trade, and it's a sell. It goes up. For I entered into Go Chain last night, and let me just write down in here at this point. And what I liked about this was its volatility. I liked how it had these moves of going up from like 600 to like 860 down to like 220. So many other moves before. We have this move back in here going from 485. But even just the little intricacy things that I was looking at. How it has, when I look at, okay, this move in here, the first spark up move has 833 down to 604, which means as a trader, okay, I'm going to maybe sell at 640 and then maybe sell at like 817 or something. But even still, selling up here gives me the opportunity to buy back. And then this situation here, I look at specific days like this. I see on this day the intraday high is 1260. The next day after that, the intraday low is 912. So that's about 300 plus points. Or that's like 30 plus percent volatility. So I can very easily get my buyback in here, and that's just awesome when that can happen, because that means, oh, I sell one of a unit, I'm going to buy back 1.2 or something. Oh, I was able to pick up 100 units of something for what I sold, and now I only have to sell 90 of them or 85 of them to get more than, and all that type of stuff. It's just a magnificent situation. But then you have this move up here, come back down like that, the move up again here. Just the types of things that I like to see. Even in this little run in here earlier this year from this 479 low, maybe the volatility may not work out, but 633 down to 533, that is still about 20%. And all of these up and down little moves that can be taken advantage of, and I have no problem. And these four candles just really show you the crypto space, especially when you look back at at least the fact that the 4 or 5 that precede it, let alone as many more you wanted to. One day to go up, a low of 621, a high of 870, so the differential will subtract the two numbers. Differential is about 250. So now we'll take the 250 into 620. Well, 62 is 10%, which means about 120 would be 20. So we're in the area of close to 40% move. And then 3 days to give 100% of its moves, and really the fourth day for the 100, but really for what it's worth, it means buybacks done instantly. And then markets go down. This is a spot where if you're trading this in whatever you're trading it against, if you're trading it straight against Bitcoin, trading it against Ethereum, you're buying. And a lot of other altcoins you traded against, you're buying. Oh, back up again. And it's barely went up. So the move today is just like, meh, small move. And I kind of pretty much sold it almost perfect. I don't know, in the sense of how much I sold. What I want to do on a 25% move is the 20% rule. For if your market's up 25% from where you entered, that means if you were worth 1 unit, you are now worth 1.25. If I take 25 of those units at the time of that value after it's went up, and I subtract it, well, I'll get back to that number 1 number. And in order for me to take 25, that would be 1/5 in fraction, which is 20%. This is really weird how this happens to work out. I was I was just a small basis points lower from that 25 at my net rich sale, because I did sell this at the 334 mark, I think. And I ended up buying Litecoin, and the ratio worked out to, from the time when I got in, 24.9%. close enough to 25. And I sold like 19.89% of what I owned. So I'm going to play that aggressive game. Now, after this has been done, I look at my ratio and I have it right in here, 3,506. And what that means is, and I traded at 34.84 ratio. So if it goes above 43.55, that means Litecoin will be overperforming Go, and I will sell some Litecoin, and I will sell less Litecoin than what I got today, and I will buy back more Go than what I had sold today. And if the ratio keeps dipping down to 27.87, probably because the price of Go goes higher, then I'll sell some more. It'll only take me about a minute and a half or so to get it on my Binance ready to sell. Very fast coin in such. But what this comes down to overall is if this market is just going to have a fast move and say in like 5 days go up to like 770, then I'm going to own well less than half of what I own now, pending, of course, what happens on the Litecoin market. But that's fine because I want to make my trades as aggressive as possible. For the way I look at it is this: 20% is max percent sale on a 25% move. Because if I were to sell more and the market keeps going up, that means when you get to areas where you'd want to sell later, your sells won't be as good as they were before for what you were able to return because you've exhausted a lot of your sales at a really aggressive level to just enjoy greater profits. And if I do two less, meaning, okay, I got 25% gain, maximum 20% sale. Okay, let's sell 7% of what I own or 5%. Now I'm just not getting a great return. And it might work out that if it keeps going up, I just kept selling little to nothing, and then it goes up here, I'm going to make a big play. So be it. That, of course, if you're playing big volatility to start, I'm just going to wait for a market to double and sell a third of or a third of what I got or half of what I got, all of what I got. Then those types of strategies can work out as well. But that's the important thing. Understand your strategy, and then really execute it. Obviously, to me, I'm always trying to improve it as it is anyway. But the way I look at it, if I can sell as close to the maximum sale as possible and hopefully get some sweet ass volatility, then maybe I can see, maybe if I can get something like this happen, then that's just going to work out fantastic. I can end up having a bunch of time goes by, maybe 4, 5, 6 months, and it might work out that I have double, triple the amount of these coins that I started with. And I might even have more Litecoin as well at the same time because I'm able to get some great deals. And what I'm really hoping happens is that things get overdone in the sense that, okay, well, let's say I go to bed tonight and the price is, we'll even say here at 331. Okay, so I want to, generally speaking, if Litecoin stays flat, I want to sell it a 25% move above it. Well, 33 would represent 10. 66 would represent 20. Half of 33, that would be like 16. So you're talking about like 80 basis points higher. So the low 400s. This little area here is where I would normally be looking to sell next. Of course, it's more profitable for me. Where, say if I were to wake up and I see it's right in here. There's a move, and it's right at that point. 449. My ratio is 28%, 27% higher in that general area of that 25 number. Well, then I'll go to my wallet, get 20% of my coins, sell them on the market, buy Litecoin, put those Litecoin on the blockchain to my hardware wallet. Simply done. But what I'd rather have happen is instead of waking up and seeing the prices are 430, I'd like to see them maybe 730. And a huge move. And I'm looking, oh my goodness. And next thing you know, I see it's up 127% on the thing as one of the top gainers or the top gainer of the day. And now, instead of taking 20% of what I own because of the move, I'm going to be taking some time and thinking, okay, wait a second. I can come up with a very aggressive play. Why don't I take maybe 40% of what I own? Heck, even half. But we'll go maybe 35, 40, 42, 43%. move that on, make a much larger trade. Not only because if you think of the math, if say 200 represents 20%, 200 at 444, what's that going to get me compared to say 400 at 742? Not only am I getting a better price that per unit is going to get me maybe double more, a bit more, but I'd also be doing twice as much. And then I'd get a very aggressive sale. And then if it happens here, what I'm hoping for is for a nice little pullback down to around here, so that maybe after, say, 3 hours after I send a whole bunch of Litecoin to that exchange of my wallet, I have to go back on there, plug in my Trezor, send a bunch of those Litecoin back on the exchange, buy up the coins, and realize, hey, that's good profit to myself. Those are the type of days I'm looking to have happen. So that's just a part of what the market do what it does and react to it, but then understand what the markets are capable so that you are ready for those possible situations as well. And now I'm going to talk about GRS. I'm not going to go through its stays like this. It's had it several times where over 1 to 3 days it'll just do about a double or better. And I'm definitely not going to say that's going to happen here because all that's happened today and over the last little bit. Well, today is the band is flattened out. What is really a little bit noticeable for me is this May 16th level comes to the 18 average of highs. The first time it tested it since it broke down from there on April the 15th. And the last retracement from then did break down below the 18 lows with the pause day yesterday. But it has a higher low from this point to this point, has gotten to this previous high. So let's take a look at this on a short-term time frame, see if we can make any sense of it, because this was a phenomenal move here last night. It ended up coming back down to this correctionary band after a phenomenal quick move, like 4,900 up to 5,800. That's like a 17-18% move very quickly. And then even intra move in here. Let me just put in the bit or the I have the Bittrex one on here just because it's got more data than the Binance going back to 2017 and such. But yeah, I mean, you can see in here there was this next move in here where, okay, this is a little fun game. What happened first? The on this period, was it a move of over 5,600 to the top, or was it the low near 51? I don't know the answer to this, and I'm thinking that the low would have hit first. It was in such a large decline because for the low to happen, that means it would go down like this, up like this, and then down like that. But for the high to happen first, that means it would have went down like this, up like that, down like that, and then back up like that, which could have happened too. But regardless, this whole move, since it happened, buyers and sellers both came into play. They at least finished off the selling. Price action has remained stable and neutral within this entirety. And is it holding and staying above an area where it came from? Technically, this high level here, yes. You're also, does this really look a failed breakdown? I guess maybe a little bit. But now let's see the answer to what was first on this, the low or the high. Let's go to the 15-minute next, and then we can see it's the low. Because there's how it came down, just as I was saying. Then it had this move, but even this, just so magnificent how it just falls back. If we take a look at this on the 5, we can see in here, after it got above this, and then even just the intra 5-minute periods. This is a very volatile minute. I want to even see this on the 1, because even here, you can see GRS is one of the lower liquid markets on Binance. Still decent enough to trade on. But fast moves, and you got to be fast with these moves as traders. If you want to get above, say, 5,400, then you didn't have much time at it. Now, I have GRS available on both Bittrex and Binance. So I can sell it any time I want for, if I was to see breaking above 54, okay, I want to trade it, even like right in here on this period at 952. And I wanted to get a price above 54. Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, really about 5 minutes to get 54. And since then, Uh, well, it hasn't been above it yet, as we stand right now at 53.08. So this is just one point of how fast those markets can be, and that's not much of an intraday move, but that can be happening on the long term, meaning it can happen at larger rates, meaning 7%, 8% moves and then come back down really fast, if not even bigger than those numbers. Now I want to finish this off within Dash against Bitcoin, as it's got a really interesting setup that I really want to talk about more than anything, at least on the weekly chart. So we've had this high in the end of March, which went up to the 28 handle, falling down to the 16 and little under 17, losing over 11 on 28. And then we have this day on May 16th where price action is able to exceed it. But if we look at the entirety, no, let's just forget that. We break down from the 18 highs here, matching low to here, back to the 18 in here, but this time instead of resisting, it goes above here. Really important when that happens to hold the 18, hold where you came from, and that's exactly what happened on this period. And then you pause it, and this is a big one here, this day here, where you break above it. Now, same thing, go hold the 18, hold where you came from. Well, yesterday it never even came close to needing to come back, didn't do it. And it's still well above the 18. A total awesome pause day. And it's really showing continuation more of yesterday's movement, pausing this move in here very nicely. And looking at such on the weekly, this is the main reason why I wanted to bring this up, as from the big tops, and let's just talk about the story, at least from the early 2017 move. So before we can see it had this little uptrend. The uptrend line got taken out and it did this little bit here. So really you can call this a failed breakdown, and boy was there a fast move, even faster than I would have even thought that took place. And after this holding, pausing in here, this move was just beyond phenomenal. So what's important after this? Okay, we got this little level here we can see, and this little area is just to hold and stay above this little area. And so far, so good. A lot of choppiness, and this is just great for trading if you're looking at this for buy low, sell high, to have this type of choppy moves. Just because if you can get within the percentage moves, like, oh yeah, just amazing volatility. So the decline happens. A lot of resisting the 18 of lows in here. And it never stopped. This was a little bit of an upgrade from in here because it managed to spend time at and above the closes a bit, close to the 18 highs. And then it continued to show weakness on the lows, have this little breakdown, resisting it again. Broke down here, but this is where it did nothing. Spent some time correcting it. Ooh, breakout. Oh, possible failed breakout. And we can see as it was going down there that there we have the signs of that fast move lower. And that's not much of a move, but this play is indicating to me, okay, this is where it's going to get really interesting, because if this is a failed breakout, this move in here, again, because I talked about all of this 18, how it couldn't get over. So its first shot from the big highs after because 2017, 2018, euphoria tops. That was the last time it ever had a move above the 18 highs on the weekly time frame. So the year plus and change in the decline, it finally is having its attempt to do so. It fails after its first attempt on its 18 test. Thus, this happens. So now, it's either failed breakout, this one here, or failed breakdown. And as it plays now, we are seeing that battle being battled. And it's doing so within the 18. For just these two periods in itself, this one was continuation down. It was a 6th consecutive period down. And because it was the 6, okay, at some point you need to get some buying in. Yeah, of course. So let's stick a line in where that key level of support was taken out. And when you break below it, then you're expecting to resist where you came from and resist the 18. Well, it obviously got above the first spot where it came from here at the 19.3 handle. Then it came down to the 18 average of lows, still within where it came from, within this point here. And it's still also below this point here. So now, as I look at this, it's already been in here enough where if it's leaving in here and you start to see momentum down towards here, okay, well this failed move is going to have its fast move in here. But now if I see any strength with the highs, 18 highs, I see it gets up there and it holds it for a day. I see it gets up there and has a continuation up day. Well, these are things ready to tell me that this is ready for what could be a significant break higher within this market. So you have the failed break above, going deeper than you really would have wanted to because it's pulled back. I would have liked to see support at 212. It didn't happen. So either it resists this and it continues on this as a failed breakout, or it's able to recover from this move, recover from the 18 highs, show this as a failed breakdown, most likely get above here. And in looking at, so do I have enough data on the monthly? And I'm not, this is really the first in a while I've looked at this. Because, yeah, after you see the move like this, the down move below it, which is establishing support more than anything, having its correctionary move, now that it's hit this little bit here, or it's already hit it twice at this low point, if it breaks down from here, then that could be pretty, not so good. But you have the 18 average of highs declining here at 32. Well, let's go back to that 32 number. Because it's a long ways to go from here. And we'll talk about that when the time is ready. But 32 here, I'm on my drawing tool for this. That's a minimum break leg higher. So if I see action come in here, hold, stay above, maybe you'll have a move that comes up to this high and either come up here, pierce above here, maybe go to 36. Maybe come up to this point, pull back a bit, then have a quick move up to that level. That's what I'd be expecting to have happen within this particular market. Let's finish it off within Dash against the dollar, and that will be it. Its current price is $168 at levels last seen back last October. It has already broken past this level of resistance from its April highs and found support in here. When we look at this on the daily chart, there was this nice little correctionary move from point A low rally in March up to here. Now it's starting this rally from this point whatever rally low of 111 or so. A little bit of a correctionary move here, but it's already gotten by this level of resistance from May 16. We have seen on today's session and yesterday's session how it supported it. And it looks weird. On the monthly chart here, so, there's a possibility of the failed breakdown below this 18. But whether I look at it, however I look at how I'm trying to explain it in the point, you have a really good move. You correct for only one leg lower below the 18 kind of deal, which is obviously going to make a higher low significantly above wherever these breakout lows happen to be. Yeah, you could resist this, and that's bearish, and it's going to do that on many occasions. But when you see that it doesn't, and prices hold and stay above stuff like the 18 highs in this area, like 317, if it's able to get up there, that's a dangerous situation because we've already seen major volatility. Oh, this goes from $8 to like $1,400. Oh, yeah, that's your standard like 200 times gain or 175x move. Okay, whatever. If this just does a 20x move from the $65 lows, well, that would be $1,300, and well, that would be just back to previous high. Well, if it does a 200 times move, well, then that might be, maybe we'll go to 7,000, 8,000, and those levels are realistic, and that's how sick this game is. So when you're thinking about profit or risk reward management. If you have a hard time putting up a large amount of risk, but you want to win a whole lot, when you look at the mathematics, you can say to yourself, geez, I was thinking about putting a decent amount of my investment portfolio, which you can say to yourself, I only need to put half or a third of that into the crypto game if I want to get in. Because the amount of gains that can happen when you're talking about 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1000x gains, especially when I talk about spots where maybe it takes, and hopefully a lot for me even, it takes like a year and a half to get to those amazing levels where it gets above here. And then it gets to, like, say, in this point in here, significant high at 10,000 on Dash. Oh, significant high on 10,000 would be like 50 times higher. And then maybe you can trade this with something else and maybe gain 3 times more Dash. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe 1.5 times more of another coin that is even better than that. That's the things that I'm trying to do within this game. So I'm going to finish this off by thanking you for tuning in. I'll put the Bitcoin chart in completion, but it's doing its thing, holding 8,000. Very spectacular, I think. At least for me it is. And have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.